I believe some people would argue that version has like health issues just to keep women
Sun in the Amazon, with a voltage running through a skin, standing there with nothing on.
What is up, YouTube? So today, how many of you guys remember Gabe?
Hey guys.
Right there in the back. Today we are working on a new haircut. I shot Gabe a few texts and there's this haircut that my friend recommended called, I think it's called an undercut, and it was just different from what I normally get, so that's what we're gonna try to roll with today. And going back and forth, I think it's still really important that you find a barber that cares about how you actually look, so then you guys are on the same page when you produce your haircut. We don't really talk about what we're doing today, huh?
No, in fact, I was just gonna address that right now, if you don't mind.
Yeah.
Just so we can like hone in on like what exactly about the haircut you like, and I'll pull it up in a second. Because what you have had in the past is like pretty much an undercut. There's just some like little, I guess, stipulations that make it a touch different.
Mm-hmm.
Your hair, usually like an undercut, what we're talking about is it being disconnected from the top, right?
Right.
Yours is usually disconnected. It's pretty short.
Right.
It's just that in the Brad Pitt photo, it's way shorter, right? Another
So
thing, it's even shorter. His particular haircut is like way more gritty. The fade isn't meant to be clean. It's supposed to be a little bit more like more raw looking.
Yeah.
His hair on top, what's different from that versus what you've had in the past is his texture is a lot more shattered. So if you like that look, we can definitely do that, and I think it'll work well with your hair.
Yeah, I think that's
it's a lot more loose, and so do keep in mind that things like the edges falling off the sides of your head and stuff that happens with when it's severely disconnected from the sides.
Gotcha.
In the past, on the other, like usually on one side you have it disconnected, and on the other side it's like kind of half blended in the back. But this time with the Brad Pitt cut, pretty much everything's going to be disconnected all the way around.
Gotcha.
Yeah, and we'll do the texture just like that too.
All right. Yeah. So I think like that raw look would work really well, because then it's like when you're like when you're working out, sometimes your hair falls out of place.
Exactly.
You don't want it to be like
it's not supposed
clean.
to be super clean.
Yeah.
Yeah, for sure. And if anything, it almost won't even really be a fade. It'll just be like a nice tight flush shape against the side of your head.
Right.
Yeah.
So how high do you think we should like pull?
You can go as high as you want, honestly.
Okay.
Yeah. Let me take a look at the other side of your head.
Okay.
All along the Western Front, people line up to receive. She got the current in her hand.
Alright, so what I'm gonna do is I'll run a 1/2, maybe up to here.
Okay.
Right around your eyebrow.
Okay.
I need my mirror so you can see.
Okay.
Right up to here, and like on the way up, I'll just make it flush, and everything down I'll fade to 0 around the hairline.
Okay.
Yeah, your last haircut with me was at my school, right?
Yeah.
A while ago.
I said, ooh, girl, shock me like electric heat. Baby girl, turn me on with your electric feet. Yeah, electric feet.
All right. So right now, what have we done?
I've set like I guess the general length of your hair with this one guideline you see around your head, and from there I'm just shaping the top to be nice and flush, and then the bottom is going to be clipper blended.
How often do you think I'd have to come in to like maintain the cut?
Short haircuts,
I'm guessing like 2 weeks.
yeah, I mean if you don't care too much about like if you just like the sides relatively short, maybe you can last that 3rd week. But especially coarse hair like yours, it gets poofy really quick, right?
Yeah, extremely.
So yeah, maybe two weeks is is the threshold I would give you, and the third week being like just on the longer side of things. Yeah. From here, with each of these 4 blobs of hair, I'm just gonna take out maybe like 1/2 inch subsections and cut all of those with a razor, and that's gonna give it that nice lines of shattered hair.
Gotcha.
You can feel it in your mind, or you can do it all the time. Plug it in, change the world.
So you might want to wait a little bit for the length to grow out on top, for it to start sitting a little bit more easily. But again, what I always tell you is blow dry.
Someone like got mad at me when they saw me styling my hair, and I didn't wet and blow dry it. Like,
what? Really?
Yeah. They left a comment and they're like, you could do this, and I was just like, dang man.
Yeah.
Like,
that's funny, dude. That means they watched your video and like used your own Bible against you.
I feel like it's one thing to style hair and achieve a certain look, but then like as a consumer and just a normal person, like sometimes you don't have time to wet your hair.
Oh, for sure, yeah.
Yeah.
And I think that's like one thing I'm trying to work on is like different options that aren't as like laborious, you know?
Yeah.
So yeah, we can, depending on, I guess, the look you want, we can talk about that too if you want.
Right.
Because if you just want volume, your hair gets plenty of volume as it is.
Yeah.
Sorry. Yeah, if you want that like really tight shape, then blow drying with a lot of tension and a lot of brushing is helpful.
Right.
But with a looser look, like you could even put in the products first, and then blow dry. And that's a totally different order from what I usually talk about, but it still works. It's just a different look, you know?
Exactly.
Turn me on with your electric feel. I said, ooh, girl, shock me like electric heat.
So I just blow dried it like I normally did, right? And you get this like this nice poof going on, and the hair is a little more polished and sleek. But we're gonna break that apart with. So this is a Malin and Getz line. The styling cream is really soft, very little hold. It's just gonna piece the hair apart a little bit and show that texture that we put in. So you'll see little like shards come out.
Is that something I should invest on my own too? Like if I'm trying to achieve the exact same look?
Yeah, it doesn't have to be the same exact product, but just something that will won't weigh the hair down. I think that's the most important thing.
Gotcha.
A lot of products we go for are advertised as like high hold, like strength 10 out of 10.
Right.
And a lot of times what we're really doing is putting a lot of weight in our hair. But we're putting so much weight in our hair that even though the product is strong, it becomes too heavy for itself, and so everything just becomes really sticky but also really heavy, and it'll just fall in front of your face.
Gotcha.
You won't get good results. So what this is doing is, like, you notice nothing is really strong. Everything's really movable still, but you can see the texture starting to piece apart. This is the Malin and Getz hair pomade. It's more like a clay, if anyone has used American Crew fiber or Grant's matte dressing, all of that, really similar stuff. It even kind of smells the same, but it's really strong like a pomade. I have a feeling that's why they market it as a pomade, but it's really dry. I like to apply in sparsely so it's not too sticky. And so since you have that nice creamy base and there's not too much hold, we can kind of even out the finish with something a little bit more dry. Usually I'll rub the product around until it's really thin. And what I'm doing here is, I guess you can call it scrunching, but I'll put all the product on my fingertips and just grab the roots and move it around a little bit. And the idea is kind of as though you're like rolling sticks together, and whatever you're rolling, you're spreading everything over the whole, all of the surface area of the hair. So whenever you do that, you're actually getting it nice and deep into the roots, and when you pull out towards the ends, you're distributing it even a little bit more. So that's really important because if you have too much product in any part of your hair, again, the weight is just going to be too much for it. And so I like to put it in my fingertips, and just pinch different areas of the head, and that way I'm saturating it evenly and not too much in the front and not too much on the sides, where people usually rake and rake and rake and put tons of product over here, and at the end of the day, if this just drops it, you know, there's no point to it.
Do what you feel now. Electric feel now. Do what you feel now. Electric feel now.
Alright, so that's it for the haircut. Few ending remarks. Gabe, how's the undercut different from what I normally get?
So it looks really similar to Jeremy's usual haircut, but like we said in the beginning, there's no wedge on this side.
So that's like
all the
this
hair is
little
cut
part,
off,
right?
and it's a lot more disconnected, and so that's where you get more of that undercut look versus a comb over look, as people usually call it. Another thing is the texture on the top. Usually we go a little bit more dense. It might be hard to tell just because Jeremy's hair is really full and he has that wave right here. The texture is a lot more shattered than it was before, and that makes it a little easier for his hair to fall down and get that messy, raw, unpolished look.
As far as products go, like what would you recommend to like maintain / hold this look?
So I wouldn't be too concerned with the hold, more so the texture. If you can get the style right with the blow dry and shaping with your fingers. I have these two products with Jeremy. This one doesn't have a lot of hold. It's mainly for exposing the texture. I use a touch of this for hold, but my comment regarding product in general, try to avoid heavy products. I know that they have more hold and more adhesion, but a lot of times they're just a little bit too heavy for the styles that you want. Try to get the style down with the blow dryer first, and then finish off with some product.
Probably the most important question, if you made it this far into the video, Gabe, how do people tell their barber, like what do you ask for this haircut?
So I suggest using pictures. Descriptions are often really difficult, like what's a fade versus a taper, undercut versus a pompadour, short versus kind of short versus medium versus long. It's best to just show a picture, and if your barber can tackle that haircut and tell you a little bit about how it's going to fit your head and your head type, that's what's most important than using the right words, just because the definitions get jumbled all the time.
And before we close, for everyone out here in Orange County, if you are trying to get in touch with Gabe, I will leave his description, his information in the description box below. So thank you for that, man.
Thanks, Jeremy.
Yeah, and until the next one, if you guys have a haircut you want to see, like let us know and we'll tackle it. Thanks for watching, guys. Peace.
Keep the fam close.
Hey!